should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Hoppe Hour.
What up? What's happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, and I'm trying to build a network around here in Tampa Bay. And I'm going to let this guy introduce himself again, but he was on Hoppe Hour, and he did so well that I had 20 interviews in February, people in major radio markets, funny comedians around here. But for some reason, he is the most listened to show from February. Why don't you introduce yourself, superstar?
Hey, it's Steve Fantetti. I'm glad to be back on the show, man.
Hell yeah, man. How has everything been? Because you're the official friend of the show. You're the lawyer of the show. How's everything been in the lawyer world?
Everything's been good. It's busy, steady.
Is it good busy?
Oh, yeah, good busy. Listen, whenever you're practicing law, you don't ever want to be sitting in your office, flicking your pencil on the desk, hoping that phone rings. So you always want to have business coming in. As long as that's going on.
Would that happen to you a lot?
What's that?
When you would be like flicking your pencil, like, why am I not getting calls?
No, well, I'll tell you what. I just remember because last time I was on, I had just opened up my own firm, so it's only been a little bit over a month. So before that, I was the lawyer for different corporations. So as in-house counsel, you're always busy. So this is my first time, so I haven't had a chance to really experience the downside of being solo because I've been lucky enough to get some business. So it's been good.
Can you talk about the business you're doing right now?
Absolutely. As you know, my firm does labor and employment law, and it specializes also in corporate business law.
For people that have no idea what the hell you just said like me, what does that mean?
Well, basically, if we're going to practice corporate business law, it's very broad, but basically you're going to represent companies in a wide variety of matters, whether it's breach of contract claims, or you might be helping them to maybe acquire a different company, do a merger acquisition, or you might be helping them draft confidentiality agreements. It could be a whole bunch of different things. And practicing labor and employment law is a lot different. You could represent companies when employees might bring claims against their employer. So you have to help defend the company against that too. And I also, as long as there's no conflicts of interest, I can represent individuals that might want to bring claims against the company.
How often is there a conflict of interest where you have to say no to the case?
So far I haven't had any, probably because I'm still a young attorney. But I'll tell you this, you do have to do a conflict check every single time. You can be disbarred almost if you sometimes take cases, there's a conflict there, you didn't do the check, and, you can compromise, the interest of your client if you don't take a look at it. So you got to make sure you do a conflict check.
Because what would happen if it was a conflict of interest and you didn't do your homework and then it just comes up in court? Do you get disbarred, suspended? What happens?
Well, the state bar has their own administrative process that handles those types of issues. I hope I never have to ever deal with them myself.
I don't think you will.
Yeah, but basically, they look at it on a case-by-case basis, and the bar will have their own ways of dealing with complaints. It's going to depend on the severity of the complaint and obviously about the conduct. But as an attorney, you can't obviously compromise your independent professional judgment. And basically what that means is, you have to understand that, your job is to represent the interests of your client, and you can't compromise, the interests of your client and obviously compromise what that you might have learned from somebody else when you're going up against that party that you might have inside information about. And you can't use that to their disadvantage in order to gain an advantage for your client. So the law wants to make sure that there's, even keel on every side.
How often does this happen where it just kind of gets swept under the rug and it's allowed?
I have no idea, but I can guarantee you, I'm sure sometimes people don't disclose that they have conflicts. Maybe some attorneys do. And do
you think it gets paid off where someone finds out that there's a conflict of interest and they're like, here's $500, shut up?
You know what? I honestly have no idea, because I think I'm just speaking, in terms of what I believe, but I think attorneys, I give them the credit, and I will definitely say it now. I think attorneys like myself and every other attorney does the conflict check and actually follows through with it, because what you don't want is, and you cannot lay your head down on your pillow comfortably at night if you didn't do one. And let's say you actually do a case and you knew that there might be a conflict. Let's say 5 years from now that arises and they find out that there was one and you didn't disclose it. You don't want to deal with that aftermath.
Have you met someone where that's happened?
Personally, I have not. No, I've just seen it in the news.
Could that get you disbarred where 5 years later it comes out
I mean, it could, like I said, but I mean, it depends on what the state bar's administrative process is for punishing. I mean, maybe depending on the like I said, the severity of the conduct and what happened, maybe it wouldn't lead to disbarment. It could lead to suspension of your license maybe for a while, or who knows. So it could be different types of penalties. It just depends on what the bar has set for that. But I don't even want to know about that stuff.
Yeah, there's no reason to. That's sort of like a radio host that says something on air that's offensive, and it's like, what would happen with the FCC or your boss?
Exactly.
It's one of those things where you just don't want to think about it. You know,
no, that's right. You kind of just want to be yourself, do your job right, and hope for that you're doing everything right. I mean, Howard Stern, as you know, has dealt with the FCC a lot.
Over $1 million in FCC fines. Him,
There
Opie,
you
and
go.
Anthony, all those guys. Well, that was back in a time too where they were encouraged to be edgy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the way that they were gonna get ratings. So I mean, they probably do whatever they could.
So now, I want to get your take on this. We were
Yeah.
bringing up off air. What is your take on Erin Andrews?
On Erin Andrews as a person, or the Erin Andrews case?
The case.
All right, well, I'll tell you this. In terms of that case, I mean, you saw what happened, right? She got a settlement from the jury for $55 million.
Am I a creep because I've seen the video like on Live Leak? When
I don't know. I've heard a lot of people have seen it. I've never seen it myself. I'll be honest with you. I just know about what happened. But
it was one of those things where I was younger because it came out in like 2008, so I was like in 8th grade.
Was it that long ago? I thought it was 11. Maybe it was 2008. You're right.
It was
a long
somewhere
time
where
ago.
I was younger.
Yeah.
I was much younger, and I'm 22, so I was definitely a high schooler. Like, I wouldn't watch it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, basically, at the end of the day, the jury sided with her. I mean, she put on emotional testimony. She talked about many different things, and she had emotional distress from this. She felt uncomfortable just being around people in the public that saw the video. I think she even stated, I remember when I was reading up a little bit on it more, that she was even afraid her husband would leave her, because it's one of those situations where, if you have a sex tape out, and your husband didn't know about it, let's say, and it gets leaked, it's going to, maybe embarrass your husband or put your husband in a compromising position, and that's why they would want to, leave you. So she was worried about all these different things. And so, at the end of the day, Marriott was the defendant in the action, and, they believed, I guess, the jury, that Marriott, breached their duty of care that they owed to her, basically stating that, they were not supposed to let anybody know that she was in a certain room, and that giving somebody a room, close to her that maybe was perhaps stalking her. But at the end of the day, Marriott had some good arguments. They were stating that it's very possible that, it was an intervening cause where this gentleman who was the stalker who came in, Marriott had no idea what he was going to do. Right? So how would they possibly know? So they thought, look, there's part of this that's outside of our control, and they were trying to push some of the damages off, to this defendant, whether he's collectible or not. I mean, I don't know what his personal net worth situation is, but obviously going after Marriott's a much deeper pocket, and that's what her lawyers did here, and they ended up getting her a lot higher of a settlement than I thought she was going to get, so that's what happened.
But here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
$55 million, dude.
I know. Well, she's not going to get all that. I mean, I don't know what her arrangement was with her attorneys, but I mean,
that's just so much money. I mean, I know it's bad, but $55 million. I mean,
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Look,
I just think if it was some average girl that treatment wouldn't be given, but because it's everyone's golden sports anchor, that's why I think it happened.
Well, look, no, listen, I think you maybe missed the point there. The fact that she is famous, the fact that people know who she is, and that they will go and download and look at this, and because she's a attractive woman, all of those taken in the aggregate create a situation where, she is this type of person who would be harmed by it more than an average person who's not very much known. I think her lawyers, probably played that up as well, and that's what I would have done too, and I think it worked out. So it's just, again, that's a fairly large settlement for this situation, but I mean, look, if Marriott really was, that negligent in this matter, then, they need to pay. But, I mean, she's not going to get the whole thing. I mean, barring, I don't know what arrangement she had with her attorneys, but I'm sure it was a contingency matter. And
what does that mean?
Basically it means that when attorneys take a case, you don't pay them every hour for work. They only get paid if they get you something. So if they win, they get 1/3 of whatever you get.
Would you ever take that type of case, or is that kind of risky?
Well, taking a contingency case is always risky, but I mean, as an attorney, you just got to weigh the cost-benefit analysis of what the case is. You want to take, some time to do some research, look at precedent to see if there's good arguments in your favor, and you just roll the dice on it. Big firms like Morgan & Morgan, they do this all the time, but you got to be in a good financial position to be able to front costs up front for, legal fees, because you're not getting paid. So you got to make sure that you have the ability to obviously handle.
Is that why lawyers get so greedy? Is because they don't want to lose money?
Well, I mean, there's lots of reasons for greed. But I mean, in terms of attorneys, I mean, look, I think people say that, but I think they shouldn't. I think attorneys provide, a very good service to people where you can't go anywhere else if you want defense or you want someone to represent you. So, I think attorneys provide a service that, the cost is actually worth. And I think, people shouldn't be complaining about legal fees. Maybe I'm a little biased because I am an attorney, but you know what?
I think you are a little biased. I think you are a little biased.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But you know what? I've been to law school. I went through it all. I know how hard it is. And, you got to be creative. You got to put in a whole bunch of time, and you care about your client, and you fight zealously for your client. So why not get paid well for it? You know what I mean?
Now let's move on to sports.
Yeah.
What is your take on Matt Forte leaving the Bears?
Well, I think Matt Forte didn't leave the Bears. I think the Bears left Matt Forte.
Good point.
They had a chance to get him back, and I don't think he even wanted to leave. So really, the Bears better really know what they're doing, because I heard that the Jets just picked him up.
You just said the Bears better know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Trust me, they don't.
Well, that's my point. I wouldn't have got rid of Matt Forte if I was the Chicago Bears. Maybe they know something about his injuries or body that the public doesn't know. That would have to be disclosed, obviously, to the team that got him, which is the New York Jets. But they had no problem getting him. And I know Brandon Marshall's happy. I just saw his Instagram. He posted he was happy because he was teammates with Matt Forte in Chicago when they were.
Well, Brandon Marshall's a weirdo.
What? No, he's not, man.
He's an egomaniac.
No, I think he's actually. I don't think he is that. I think Brandon Marshall's actually.
Maybe it was Color that was the egomaniac.
Who?
Jay Cutler.
Oh,
something happened where he just left the Bears. No, dude, Marshall
about
has that
Marshall?
personality issue.
That's what I was gonna say, but I would never brand someone because they had that he's weird. The most respectable thing about Brandon Marshall is he owned it, and he stated, "Look, I have a problem."
But even though he owned
got
it,
help.
he was yelling at the media in the locker room, and then he wasn't getting along with the team after he said he was better. I'm not talking about his days in Miami.
I know. All right. Listen, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not like trying to be an advocate to like defend him. I just know what I've seen.
Oh, I know.
And he seems like a totally different guy now, and he does.
I just don't think that ever goes away. I don't think that switch just ever leaves.
Well, I mean, I think you might be right, but at the same time, I don't know, because you could say that about any other type of certain types of diseases or ailments, like even being an alcoholic. You can say this person is fine, but do they ever not crave a drink? Right?
I think it's sort of that thing where I had Danny Bonaducci on Friday, and he said he will always be an alcoholic even if he doesn't drink.
That's my point. So basically, what I'm saying is, you should just maybe more look at the positive of it and say, you know what, if people can acknowledge it and they acknowledge the problem and they do their best to fight it, I think that's what really matters. And that's what I respect about Brandon Marshall. And I'm glad Bonaducci's done the same thing. So that's the big step.
What do you think of Peyton Manning? I'm so glad he's gone. I just go away.
You know what?
Bye. See ya. You're an all-time great. I got it.
Yeah.
You're likable. I got it. You're a character. You're humble. Go put balls on someone else's face. Enough of you.
Well, that's allegedly he did that. But
allegedly, it comes from somewhere. And it's so odd to make up. Nobody just goes, oh, yeah, he teabagged me. There's something to that. Go away. Yeah. Don't come back.
Well,
so sick of him.
I mean, you're not the only one that shared that sentiment. But me, I personally like him. I mean, I'm obviously my favorite college football team is University of Tennessee.
I just feel like he's a walking endorsement. The whole Papa John thing after winning the Super Bowl, I was like, ugh. God.
I mean, but listen, wouldn't you take those financial opportunities if you got them if you're in that position?
I don't know. It was just so corny how he did it.
Hey, listen, man. Maybe one day when your show gets even bigger than it already is, these opportunities might come around for you and you might become a corporate sellout. You don't know.
I think I'd be the first one to sell out. That's right.
I was going to say, I'm going to make sure I get this tape and play it and make sure you hear it when you do.
In 2026, when my show is wherever it is, you play this.
That's right. Howard retires finally and you can step in the shoes, man. You were just in New York City, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, New York City is legit.
It is.
I thought it was going to be douchey. I know it's because I went to Times Square.
Yeah.
That I didn't see the douchey parts. But oh my God, was it fun.
It is, man. It's a great city. It honestly never sleeps. I think it's just as live as Vegas, even though I love Vegas in a whole different way than New York. But I'll tell you this, when I was in New York, it was just nothing but what you hear about it on TV. It's like a city like no other. It's on the go. It's constant. New York people are New York people. I love them. They were very nice. Obviously, you can't even drive in that city. There's cabs everywhere. I almost got hit. and just all these things. I love it. I'm like, I feel like I'm in New
was
York.
Insane. The cabbie from the airport drove over the curb, almost got into a crash because he was trying to take a turn from the light and it was going yellow, and a guy was going through the light, and we almost got hit.
Hey, man, I'll tell you this, though. I bet he got you where you wanted to go, and he did everything he could to get you there fast. So you know what? I love it.
Dude, he was a maniac, just driving over potholes.
Hey, man.
I was like, this is a New York experience.
That's what I'm telling you. Soak it up, man. That's New York. I love New York.
Dude, and then you go to Times Square. Yeah. I didn't know that you're supposed to pay Elmo and Woody for the picture because I love Toy Story.
I never saw that movie.
My favorite movie.
I never saw that movie.
You never saw Toy Story?
Man, my wife gets on about that.
Happy hour's over. Bye. See ya. You've never seen Toy Story.
No, man, I missed. There's a lot of child movies that I actually didn't see.
You have a kid now? You have no excuse.
I got a 4-month-old son. You're right. My wife told me. She goes,
that it's from 1994. You are seeing Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. You are binge watching that. You're a disgrace of a human being for not seeing Toy Story.
No, I agree. I bet Steve Jobs would agree. Didn't he help find Pixar? I think he was the one. Yeah, I agree.
Oh my God, you've never seen Toy Story?
No.
I get if it's Finding Nemo or.
I've seen that. But I got to get on these other. No, listen, man. I haven't seen any Shreks. I got to get on. But listen. Don't hate on me. I'll tell you why. I got a good argument, as a good lawyer should. I knew I was gonna have a son one day, and I said, look. Why not watch these with him for the first time? Like, I've never seen him, and him and I could be surprised together. There you go. See? So
but you were 10 when it came out in 94,
yeah, that's
so
right.
I don't know why you didn't see it then.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I was just too busy playing sports and doing other stuff. Watching Matlock, man, you know.
Yeah, you did say that last time.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like you were kind of a geek growing up, even though you're a jock. I feel like you were that geek that was unique because you were an athlete.
I like that.
I feel like you're a jack of all trades.
I tried to be.
Most people wouldn't expect how smart and successful you are if they saw you at the gym.
Maybe, man, but I don't try to.
Because most people at the gym are dumb. I hate the people that flex. Oh my God,
I hate that too.
Like, you're in good shape, but you don't have to go. Oh my God, took a protein shake this weekend, and it's really helping my. Oh, shut up! I hate people that brag.
I actually wear long sleeves. I make sure I cover myself up. I don't try to do anything like that, man.
CrossFit's the worst. I get so sick of CrossFit.
That's a big craze right now, man.
Everyone has to brag. It's this thing. I don't know if you notice it with people your age. They want to feel like they're young again. So they're like, oh, yeah, look at me. I'm all ripped at CrossFit. Good for you. It doesn't take a rocket science.
Honestly, man, I don't got the energy to do CrossFit. So I like the workouts I do. I'm good enough for me, man. I'm set.
And you actually are humble, so you wouldn't want to be a douche. No. God, is CrossFit for douchebags?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. I mean, everybody
I feel like your wife does, and that's why you're backing out.
No, she doesn't do CrossFit. She honestly does Zumba. She likes classes. She does a lot of boot camp classes. She gets in the gym every single week, man.
Is she aggressive towards you, if you know what I mean?
You have to ask her that.
No, but I mean, getting in shape is the best feeling ever, dude. You know what I mean? I love working out.
Yeah, me too, honestly. And I go early in the mornings. Usually I go at 5 a.m. because it's the only time I can get my workout.
What are you doing at 5 a.m.? That's insane.
Well, think about it, man. I was working late tonight. I came by your show. How am I going to work out later on tonight? I wouldn't have time. So usually I go that early. But listen, the reason why I love doing it in the morning isn't just time necessity, but I really feel your workout starts your day. You just feel better. It gets your endorphins going.
I'm going to probably go tonight.
It's out of the way. Hey, man, good for you. I got to go to bed. I got to get up early at 5 a.m.
I live a weird life. I'm a night owl. Hey, and it's driving my girlfriend nuts, too. Can't you notice that I'm a different man since I have a girlfriend now?
I actually have noticed that. I wasn't sure if it was because you're pounding these energy drinks right now, or just because, you know, you're growing up now. You got a relationship, man.
I'm finally getting some facial hair. I got a little peach fuzz.
I thought I saw that. I didn't know if it was a shadow. Man, I'm proud of you, man. You might have to shave soon. I'll buy you a razor next time I see you.
I got to shave. I look like a bum. It's like little pubes on my face.
Oh, man.
Because when you first met me, I was all quiet and timid, and Toko works with Law Smith, and now I'm growing up before your eyes.
That's it, man. It's only been a couple months, but look at you. You're blossoming.
Hell yeah, man. Isn't it awesome when you come into your own and you finally just don't care about anything anymore? Like, I care about making it. I care about my girlfriend. I care about my family. I care about my clique. I just don't care anymore, though. You know what I mean? Like, people can say what they want about me. I'm so over it.
Hey, man, listen. All that matters as long as you're happy and comfortable in your own skin and that you treat other people well.
Because I was
all that
overcompensating. Were you ever overcompensating in life?
Well, what do you mean by that?
You try too hard and you try to put on an image and you try to like not tell yourself who you really are and you're trying to act cool?
No, I don't think I've ever.
Because you've always been the cool guy.
No, I haven't, man. Listen, I'm not the cool guy. I'm just not at all.
You played college
Ask my friends. Yeah,
and almost played in the CFL. That's pretty cool, dude.
It doesn't mean I'm a cool guy. Listen, you just choose your path in life and you fall. But listen, I heard this quote somewhere. I want to share it with you, but I can't remember who said it. But
it was probably some meme on Facebook.
No, it wasn't. But listen to this. It said, it takes 3 seconds to be an asshole to someone, but it also takes 3 seconds to be nice to them. So choose the right one.
Wow.
And I've always remembered that, and it makes perfect sense. So, that's why I don't think there's any reason to be any different than just be comfortable in
I don't
your own
like
skin.
people who are narcissists. They make me sick.
Well, everyone's got a little bit of narcissism. I mean, and it basically comes from self-confidence. But the problem is, you got to be controlled. And you got to make sure that you put yourself in other people's shoes sometimes. I think that's the way to avoid narcissism is you have to understand, and I've always had to battle with this too. Sometimes tough things come up in your life, but you got to understand, look, put yourself in someone else's shoes. Someone's always going to have it worse off than you do. And, I try to remember that every time.
But how do you deal with success without letting it get to your head and without being cocky? Because I've never been happier. I'm doing really well, but I'd never want to come off cocky or like I'm better than the room. So how can I keep getting more confident without getting a big head? I
think the easiest way is to basically realize that if you set goals for yourself and there's certain goals you haven't attained yet, then you haven't hit the mountaintop yet. So you got to keep striving. That means you have no reason to be comfortable. So therefore, why would you be totally cocky if you still have to achieve all these other things?
I'm not being paid for this. I mean, I have sponsors, but I don't get paid.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is like, look, if you want to get to somewhere, you're really not there yet. So what are you being cocky about, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the way I always look at it. I think that kind of keeps you grounded is if you have long-term goals and certainly you're doing things to put yourself to be in the best successful position you can, you always want to achieve more. And therefore, as long as you keep wanting to strive and you're never comfortable, never settling, then you have nothing to be totally cocky about because you still have to achieve these other things.
Is it possible that when you're overly passionate and you're overly loyal to something that you like let's say being a lawyer or radio, that it comes off cocky because you have so much passion?
I don't know. I think... And
I feel like people think I'm cocky, and I'm not. Yeah. I'm actually low key.
I listen. You definitely are low key. I don't know why people would think that, but I've been told by people, even in law school that I met, and like when you're in law school, you're nobody. You're not a lawyer yet. You're on the same level as everybody else because they're all taking the same classes as you and trying to pass the bar just like you are. But people have said just by looking at me, they thought, oh, I think that guy is cocky. And one of my friends who lives here in Tampa, Diana Echeverry, she always said, I thought you were douchey when I first saw you. And then she got to know me. She's like, you're totally the opposite. So
I never thought you were douchey because when I first saw you for a split second, I thought you would be, but then you were so cool. Immediately, I was like, nah.
I just try to treat everybody the same. And I'll tell you this. I think people are always going to assume things about people. I think that's just human nature. And we've all done it. Obviously, you don't ever want to, stereotype or you don't want to start trying to analyze people in a negative way before you even had a chance to get to know them or meet them. So, but like I said, I mean, everybody does it. We've all been guilty of it. You just got to try and avoid doing that. So that's it.
Each and every day, would you say you're becoming a better person?
Oh,
that's what I'm trying to be. I'm just trying to be more normal and not all about radio. Like having a girlfriend and having a side life really helps.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, you always got to try every day to be a better person because there's always going to be days where you're not and where you slip up. And I'm definitely guilty of that. I mean, I complain about things as anybody else would complain about stuff. And you got to realize, why am I complaining? Just, dust yourself off and go off to the next thing. And your life is a lot better than most people. So why are you complaining?
Do you ever meditate?
No, man, I don't.
Dude, I meditate a lot. I love
really?
it.
I don't have time to meditate, man. I wish I did. That's a good idea.
There's no such thing as not having time to meditate.
Really?
I just made that quote up.
It's like, there's not enough hours in the day, if you ask me, much less time to meditate. But
no,
hey.
I mean, even 10 minutes, even if you fool yourself into thinking you are meditating, you're meditating.
No, listen, besides that, to piggyback off that, I just think people in general, I know I'm guilty of this. You don't take enough time sometimes for yourself to, whether it's appreciating certain things or to even pray or whatever it is that you do to kind of find your inner peace. Well, I'm just saying people find different ways. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I wish we would all be. I did stuff like that more often, but obviously, as long as you think about it and you're considerate and of all the blessings that you have. I think that's all that matters.
Do you pray?
Of course, I go to church. I go as often as I can. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man.
What religion?
Catholic.
Ugh. I grew
what
up
you got
on
against
that.
Catholics, man? Hey, listen, I went to Catholic
20
schools my
years
whole
of
life.
that crap.
Yeah, man. I went to Catholic, even high school. I had to wear a uniform and stuff, the collared shirts and dress pants. Hey, man, it's a good way to grow up. It actually disciplines you.
Now when your parents force it down your throat,
Yeah.
and your parents say you'll burn in hell because you watch Family Guy.
I don't know what your parents said that to you. Mine didn't, but my parents gave us a choice, man. So,
Well, no,
That's
I was
funny.
forced to do communion,
Yeah.
confirmation.
well, why do you say forced? You didn't want to do it?
I never wanted to go to church. Who wants to get up at 8:30 when you have to get up every day at 6:30 to go to school? Why would
Hey,
you want to get
man.
up on the weekend and
Hey.
one day you have off?
Listen, I go to church sometimes at 6 o'clock at night on Sundays. They have evening masses too, man. They cater to everybody. So
What's funny is my mom's going to hear this and she's going to be like, see, your lawyer friend goes to church and he's cool. Why don't you?
listen, all that matters is listen. It's a personal choice. You shouldn't be going because anybody else is telling you to. My mom always told me that. So, but anyway, I want to ask you a question.
What's up?
What you think about this Bernie Sanders victory in Michigan over Hillary? He's putting pressure on her, right?
Is that good? Because I don't know what's going on in politics.
Man, how come
I
you
love
come on?
I love
Yeah.
how you asked me thinking I was going to know anything.
Well, I figured, since it just happened the other night, that maybe you saw it on the news.
I don't
or
know what
caught
it means. All I know is
Yeah.
this. All I know is this. I want a Democrat to go into office.
Well, aren't you a Bernie
I
fan?
fucking despise Ted Cruz with all my
Yeah, you
fucking
told me
heart.
last time.
I think Rubio is fake. Think he's robotic. Think he's a creep.
He might be out soon, by the way. He's getting killed in terms. He's getting.
And
no
I think
delegates.
Trump
He's not
is
winning.
entertaining,
Oh,
but I think
man.
he needs to go away. I think he's going to ruin this country. And anybody who is a Trump fan, and I'm going to say it, people sometimes say you don't talk about
Relax,
sex,
relax.
religion, politics. No. If you are like a diehard Trump fan, like there's one thing to kind of say I want him to win,
Yeah.
but if you are a diehard Trump fan, then you have the combined IQ of 80 and you think wrestling is life. You are a complete and utter idiot if you want Trump to be president.
So how come? What's your biggest thing about why you don't like him? Just because
He's obnoxious. There's no reason ever that we should be talking about Donald Trump's dick. Listen to me.
I haven't talked about it. I don't even want.
Everybody's
to
talking about it on the news about what he said. And
Yeah, I saw what he
imagine
said.
this. No, think about it this way. Your kid could potentially grow up looking up to him. You're supposed to look up to the president. You're not
yeah.
supposed to be creeped out by him being a rich douche.
Listen, you make a valid point about that. I think.
He's making it a joke. He's making it into TMZ land. We are the best country in the world. He is the face of the planet, whoever the president is.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If I had to put it maybe a little bit more eloquently than you just did, I'd maybe say, the way that our nation was founded and founding fathers. I mean, give or take the faults of them. I don't want to get into all those, but the big thing is, we had statesmen back then, people who really cared about, being passionate about helping others and trying to create, a constitution that would govern and give people, civil rights and try to have freedoms for people. And obviously they failed a little bit, but they got better, and our society's getting better. It's not there yet, but my point is, statesmen conduct themselves in a more polished way.
You know what I
because
love?
you represent the country, and I don't think Donald Trump is the way you represent the country. That's
You know what I
I'm getting
love?
at. What's that?
You basically said what I said without yelling.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Maybe I can get you to calm down a little bit.
No,
when
but
we
it's
do
just,
these.
God, anybody
No, your
that wants
passion's
him
good.
to win, you have to admit, anybody that really wants Trump to win is either racist or a complete dimwit.
I'll tell you this. I'm kind of shocked about that KKK thing when they heard about the endorsement. He didn't immediately decline the fact that they were going to endorse him. He was
know
like,
why he
I didn't
does
know
that?
about this, or who are they? I don't know who David Duke is. I was like, come on, man.
You
That's
know
an
why
easy
he
answer.
does this?
Just say, I don't even want anything to do with these guys. I don't want their endorsement. That's what I would have said.
You know why he does this?
What?
You know why I don't like Trump? You know what the ultimate factor about Trump is he's too smart for us. The thing is,
Really?
he knows how to make it about him. The thing is, he has that debate 2 weeks ago. I was in New York City, so like 2 weeks ago, I'm eating pizza at a shop. Ted Cruz is crushing him on the issues. Rubio's crushing him on the issues. The next day, whoa. It came out of nowhere. Sort of like a comet. All of a sudden, Governor Chris Christie's endorsing him.
Yes.
A day after he
weird.
looks like an absolute idiot in a debate, he's being paid, or he was obviously paying Chris Christie to endorse him. And I think Chris
He's got the
Christie
money.
did it to piss off Ted Cruz and Rubio because he wants to be in their position.
Maybe he
I
wants
promise
to be
you, Donald
his
Trump
vice
hated
president.
him.
Maybe.
I promise you.
I'll tell you this,
that was
though.
a circus. That was a joke.
Well-
Our country is screwed.
Listen, here's what I was going to tell you to maybe save face with this, because I've been talking to my friends about this a lot too, and obviously Trump's leading right now and he's getting a whole bunch of delegates, but look, I think you need around 1237 or something like that to by the convention. So here's how it goes. I don't know if you realize this, despite the fact that he's looking good right now, if he doesn't have the delegates by the time the convention hits, then it's an open floor debate they can have in the. Republicans are allowed to nominate whoever they want. So even though Trump looks like he's leading, he still might not get the nomination if he doesn't get the required number of delegates. So there's still a chance where he might not be.
What I don't like
nominee.
is
it's called an open convention, so we'll see. So, but listen, even if he does get it, if he has to debate Hillary one-on-one, like you just said, he's on the issues. There's no way he knows the issues. The way
I kind of want her to
does.
win. I know she's a scumbag rat, but it's like...
Hey, man, whoever you got to vote for.
Why are
you
you so even-keeled? Are you trying to save your image of being a clean-cut lawyer?
No,
Why are
listen.
you being so friendly?
No,
They're
well,
all scumbags,
I'm trying
dude.
to listen. Here's the thing: is I don't have a dog in this fight because I can't vote in this country. But I'm just giving my opinions on the different parties because I don't have any party affiliation right now. I'm going to choose one soon. I don't know what I want. I'm not a person who makes up his mind already about who I'd vote for. I want to see the whole process and see what happens. I think it's too early to make a decision already. And be, like I said, be a single issue voter. I like to look at a wide variety of issues that candidates stand for.
I just vote Democratic for gay rights, women rights, things like that. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, everybody's supposed to vote for whatever they passionately believe in. But like I said, I don't get worked up about it that way. I just kind of can see through some of the BS sometimes, and I can tell if a politician's being fake. And so that's why I kind of just let it all go.
Yeah, man, I just don't like that we cannot find anybody better. Like, there are so many billions of people on this planet that the person that's going up against Trump is that piece of shit, Ted Cruz. I think I hate Ted Cruz out of everybody. He's such an imbecile. All the outtakes you see of him trying to do a family commercial, he's such a narcissist.
Yeah, I remember you
such
said
a
that
creep,
last time with his kid. They're
and
trying
such
to make
a
him the camera.
dirtbag.
Yeah.
Did you see the latest video of him going on a jet and he's trying to kiss his daughter? He's like, Mary,
Ted
kiss
Cruz?
me. Mary, kiss me. And she wouldn't kiss him, and he just comes off so aggressive.
Well, here's what I know is Senator Graham even said this from South Carolina. Lindsey Graham even said, he said he'd rather have Ted Cruz over Donald Trump. He considers Cruz the lesser of two evils. So
they're both
who knows?
evil.
Well, hey,
I just
man.
wish Trump wasn't so obnoxious, and I just think he's evil. I think it's really getting to his head. Like, I had DJ Who Kid on the show about 4 days ago, and he said Trump's different than when he was on the show 10 years ago.
Really?
I really think it's getting to Trump's head.
Did he say how or like why?
He's just more evil now. He's more insane.
Well, you know what?
I think it's a power trip. I think the idea of actually running the country, I do believe he would commit war crimes, and I do believe he's a racist. I think the idea of all this power is making him a different dude.
I mean, maybe it is. I mean, they say power corrupts, but he doesn't have any power yet, in terms of the office.
He's getting
just
there.
running.
He's real close.
I mean, he's getting closer than most. I agree with you. But, I mean, like I said, I don't want to jump the gun on this. I think there's still lots of time. There's still a chance he might not get all the delegates. And
I just want Clinton. Just give it to Clinton. None of the Republicans are good.
Well, they're not. But, I mean, I like John Kasich still. I think Rubio's okay. But
why can't Kasich even have a chance?
He's
What I
not
don't get is,
getting the
why
delegates.
does the media just say Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Trump? I feel like they just sort of elect it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think because those three are a lot more vocal. I think they carry a lot more swag, for lack of a better term, than John Kasich does, and I think that's
he kind of
why-
comes off like a wimp.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. And Republicans are looking for someone to kind of be more, outgoing.
Jeff
maybe
Bush came off like
project
such a
tough
pussy.
image. Well, that's what people were saying. And Jeb Bush is actually a smart guy and would have been a pretty good candidate if he could stay in right now.
I heard he was a bad mayor or a bad
He was
governor of Florida. I heard he was bad.
Really? Well, I wasn't here when he was governor. I know his big initiatives were with education. I heard he did a good job down
ruined
here.
education.
I heard he gave his brother the election too. But who knows, man?
That's the other thing is I heard he defended Bush too much, George W. Bush.
Well, what did you expect? Wouldn't you defend your
I
own
know,
brother?
but if you have any fighting chance of being a president,
Yeah.
at any point, you should probably realize that he's one of the most despised presidents of all time. The hate has gone down because now we all blame Obama, but he also pretty much fucked up this country for 8 years. We seem to kind of forget that.
Well, look, all I can say for Jeb was that the deck was stacked against him already. I mean, his dad is one of the most successful politicians, I think, in the history of the world, and actually one of the best ones. And, George obviously getting 2 terms and, the strife that people think he created for the country obviously puts a bad taste in people's mouths. So I think dealing with those 2 things, you're not going to be like your father was, people say, and, your brother, they say, messed it all up. And then you got to deal with that and still try to run against Trump and these other
And
clowns.
he had no personality. He was just as
tough,
bland
man.
as a saltine cracker, dude.
It's tough.
You like that analogy?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I laughed. That's pretty good. So listen, I want to ask you this because you said something I actually just remember now. You said when you were in New York and you were at a pizza spot, I was going to say, what'd you think about New York pizza compared to pizza here?
It's better than pizza here. There's no good pizza here.
Really? I'll tell you one place where pizza's good here.
Where?
You got to go to Ybor City on 7th Ave. There's a pizza window off the Italian Club. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's across the street from Law Nash Cigars, where I go smoke cigars a lot.
Oh, look at you, badass.
Man. Well, no, I'm just saying there's a pizza spot.
look at
It's
you.
just a window. It's called like the best pizza, whatever. There's no name for this thing. It's just a window in the Italian Club.
Oh, I've seen that place.
Yeah, they sell it by the slice, man. It's the best.
I gotta
pizza
go there.
spot.
I'm
Telling
gonna go there
you.
the next time I intern with law. On
That's the
Tuesday.
closest to New York pizza you're gonna get in Tampa. But otherwise, man, the pizza in Tampa, it's hard to find a really good slice. I like slices. I don't like getting like a big thing of pizza. I like individual slices.
See, I like getting a big thing.
Yeah, see, everybody's different. That's good. That's okay.
What did I think of New York pizza? It was all right. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
But
More greasy than most, right? I love that, man.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's legit.
deep dish is the best.
Deep dish is the best. Well, Chicago's got the deep. You ever had Chicago pizza?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh,
Can't
yeah,
you tell by
that's
my
right. I
accent?
keep thinking Ohio because you spend some time there all the time. You're an Ohio
Cleveland, what? Yeah. But yeah, Chicago, dude, the best pizza around. And I'm not just saying.
Where
that-
you like Gino's East? I love that. That's good
No.
pizza.
Gino Z sucks.
What?
You got to go to Giordano's.
Oh, I didn't go there.
You
when
didn't
I
have
was there.
Giordano's, you idiot.
Man, I love
You
Gino's
dumbass.
East. I kept going back, man. Gino's East was good. It's like
Nah,
a thick
dude,
pie pizza.
I don't like the crust. It's too bready.
It's good. Oh, maybe I like.
No,
I like
dude,
deep dish
Giordano's, man, the way it has cheesy crust. Oh my God, can there be a Giordano's? I need to go there right now. I'm
pizza. Yeah. I gotta
so
go back
hungry.
to Chicago. It's been a while. I haven't been there since. I think I went there in 2010 when I was in law school with a friend of mine, and I haven't been back since.
What
and
month
I
did you go?
loved
I
it.
can imagine it was cold.
It was in the fall. It was gorgeous, and then I went shopping. Ended up buying a jacket, and I was there. It was like September, October when I went. And it was amazing. It was
Chicago
awesome.
would be the best city ever if it wasn't cold. The winter ruins everything.
Well, the winter up north, it's cold. Period. That's why I'm down here, man. I came from up north too, so.
I was thinking about it, though. I was like, I first said to myself, I could never work in cold weather
Yeah.
because it just makes me depressed. It makes me lazy. But I also thought about it. I was like, going to New York City, even though it's cold, if you're actually in a happy place in your life, the weather doesn't matter. It's just, I hate when it's negative. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
it's bad. Listen, I grew up in that. I went to college to a place.
Well,
where
yeah, you're from Canada.
yeah, and I went to college in Upper Michigan and in the Upper Peninsula, man. It was,
Grand Rapids?
It's cold. No, Upper Peninsula, man, is
Detroit?
above. No, you got to cross the Mackinac Bridge.
Never been there.
To get from the Lower Peninsula, which people call the Mitten. If you look at it on your hand, this is Lower Michigan. The Upper Peninsula is up top, so it's even colder. You're going like 9 hours north of where I'm from in Windsor, Ontario. So it was cold, man. But I'll tell you this: living in Florida, we're blessed with the most amazing weather in the world and nice beaches. I love
Today
it
was
here.
so nice. I wanted to go to the
amazing.
beach.
It's snowy back where I live.
I went to Chipotle and I sat outside and it was
Yup.
amazing.
It's amazing. But listen, the one thing is I miss the cold weather sometimes. Like football season, I miss the fall up north. I miss
the fall.
snow around
I don't
Christmas.
miss the snow.
But they don't get snow and Christmas up north anymore, man. Global warming is killing it. So it's not
I know.
even the
Global
same way.
warming's there.
Man, people can't deny it. I think it's there too.
I mean, it's 70 in Cleveland.
Well, it was funny. Like they were saying this too. They were saying, look, people are saying. I think it was Bill Maher on this show because I watch this show every week. Bill Maher is amazing. If you hate Bill
I
Maher,
like
man,
John Oliver
leave
better.
it. No, I'm just kidding. But listen, Bill Maher said, people got to realize that it is real and. Fish are dying. Parts of our ecosystem are dying off. He's saying he thinks the reason why sharks are being so violent and eating people is because all the fish are dying in the ocean. They got nowhere else to eat, so they're coming after us.
Can you imagine being a shark and
Man.
being hungry?
Oh, I think you're always hungry when you're a shark. I don't think it ever ends. Those things always want to eat. I don't even want to know what that feels like, man. I get full, so I don't even care.
I never thought about that. They're
Yeah.
always hungry.
Think about it. That's all they're doing. They're just looking for food. It never stops. Seriously, man. Like offensive linemen. It's crazy.
That's the best part about having you on the show is you bring up points I never thought about.
Hey, man. It's all about having a abstract mind, man. I learned stuff from you, too. I learned about your passion for hating Ted Cruz.
Who? Oh, yeah, that piece of fucking shit.
Oh, my God. Come on, man. We got to swear like that.
Why? Are you embarrassed of your company brand being a part of this?
Heck no, man. That's why I'm here.
Of course, dude. Where can people find your work?
My website is www.fantettilegal.com. And
You got a really cool ass name.
thanks, man. It's Italian.
It sounds really friendly.
thank you.
Fantetti. Stephen Fantetti.
My dad was born in Italy.
I don't know what that accent was. It wasn't
I
Italian,
don't know what
but
that was either. It's like your voice got high pitched there for a second. Yeah, that's funny. So listen, man. I know you're an NBA guy, but you said you haven't watched it much. Are you keeping up on what's going on?
I'm trying. I don't
You
have
seen Steph
time.
Curry light it up? Warriors might get 72 games.
How did they lose
NBA
to the
record?
Lakers? I didn't watch that.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch the game. I just
Here's
saw
what
it.
I think it
I
is.
thought it was going to be a blowout, and I was like, the Lakers won?
I think people often forget that even though the Lakers suck, they're also professionals.
Yeah.
And I think the Warriors thought it was going to be easier. And I think they just said, we have nothing to lose. And I think
Probably.
Kobe influenced them beforehand.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. That was an anomaly game. I mean, it's Kobe's last ride here. Who knows? I don't think he played the whole game. I saw his stats.
Dude, it's
were
sad.
big. Listen, I'm going to be sad when he leaves. I mean, we talked about it last time just because he's the last of a dying breed of those tough players from the 90s with that killer instinct. But who do you think is gonna win the title? Do you think it's gonna be Golden State, or do you think anybody from the East got a shot?
Spurs.
Really? Ooh, okay, that's a good pick. They got the squad, they got the coaching.
Because no one's talking about them all year.
Yeah, well, listen, that's the way Coach Pop likes it. Trust me, he's one of those.
Oh, it's going to be the Spurs.
What about
It'll
this?
be Spurs and Warriors in the conference finals.
Right.
In 7,
Yeah, that'll go 7
Spurs
games.
take it.
Oh, that'll go 7 games. But what do you think about this big deal everyone's saying about LeBron working out in Miami and hanging out with Dwayne Wade in the off days that they had? They're making a big deal and saying, oh, LeBron wants to go back to Miami.
It's called sports journalism,
tweeting.
and they're lazy in 2016,
They're making up
and they're
stories.
unoriginal, and they are hacky, and they are horrible in 2016.
Well, listen, I actually agree with that because I think there was no reason to make a story of that. They had to just spin it their own way. And LeBron even said when they asked him, they're like, what do you make of all these people saying this and this about you going down there to work out with Dwayne Wade? And he goes, I don't care, which is the perfect answer because they're making a story out of nothing. I hate when they do
Sports
that.
journalism sucks. They talked about in the beginning of the year, will he be okay because he needs injections in his back? They're all nerds who were never good enough to play sports.
Wow.
So now it's their one chance to dictate sports because they make it all about it.
So I bet you hate Skip Bayless then. That's what people say about him. Do
Who?
you watch that show? Do you watch First
He
Take?
means nothing to me. He is so pathetic. That show is so...
It
I
raises
just-
good issues sometimes. I think they're overkill.
You know it's fake, dude.
That's scripted.
Oh, it's so
It could be.
horrible.
It could be. I don't know much.
You think that's real? You really think he believes what he says? Because he's so
he's
horrible.
Paid. Why they have a show is to make sure he takes contrary positions to Stephen A.
It's so dumb.
I
I like
guarantee
real discussions. That's why I'm proud of my show. Is I never hold my opinion. Like
Yeah,
I
clearly.
always say what I believe.
You
Like
should.
Ted Cruz is a fucking shithead.
Oh my God.
So where can people find your work?
I told you, man. Remember www.fantettilegal.com. That's the website for the law firm. If you need help with your business, if you need help with whether it's setting up a business, we do corporate formation. We help form LLCs, corporations, partnerships. We obviously represent companies. We can draft contracts. We do it all. So if you need us in Tampa, we're there or elsewhere.
Well, dude, keep up the good work. You're definitely the new friend of the show, and you're more than just a lawyer. You're a new segment.
Hey, man.
We got to come up with one now.
Yeah,
Ask
man.
Fantetti sounds lame. It's hacky.
Yeah,
It's
don't do
unoriginal.
that. Don't make it about me. Call it something. Let's make it something else where it's a neutral one. I don't know. We'll have to think hard about that. I appreciate you having me on, though.
Of course, dude. This has been Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, saying peace out.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.